What is happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back with a live stream, the first live stream of the transfer window opening. We are here. Listen, yeah, it's Gavin here. Bedtime stories with KG. Yeah, it's late, but you know what, man? It's been a busy but a really great day, I must say. I've had a real good day today, and I hope everyone else has too, man. It's been a wonderful day, but this was the best time to do it. Best time that it's quiet, so I can get it out. And listen, if you don't watch it live, watch the replay. We're going to speak about a list I've got in terms of what Leeds United are looking for. Going to speak about Oliver Skipp, and we're going to speak about Brenden Aaronson and his PR. So we're going to go with that. Let's have a look here. MJ Slim, I appreciate the late stream since I'm in California and I'm 7 to 8 hours behind. Shout out to you, man. Lodi in the house, good evening. Alison, good evening. Yeah, shout out to everyone, man. Before we go on, let me just get the housekeeping out of the way. If you haven't already, please hit a like on the video. Really is the best way to help out the channel. Subscribe to the channel too. And of course, if you're sensible, drop your comments below. And please, if you're sensible, please take that notice. Take that note. If you're sensible, drop a comment below. Thank you to Des Paul and Parrot House. Parrot House is always supporting the channel. Thank you for the support and the super thanks on the last videos, guys. Much appreciated. Sean in there saying here, I'm in Florida, so it's 5 years. I love it. I love it. Wait a minute. All you Americans, you're not coming back, are you? Now, shout. I've seen you guys. I've seen you guys in the chat before. I'm just joking around. Tamster man actually with a nice comment here. But shout out to Phil Hay. Yeah, I did forget to do that on the last stream. As everyone knows, Phil Hay has left the Leeds United thing. In terms of reporting, I think it was. I don't know the full reasons behind. I haven't watched any footage in regards to that, but you kind of saw over the last year, didn't you, that another writer was brought in and he kind of eased off a few of the matches as well. But listen, Phil was a staple in this thing, absolute staple. At one point when we was under ownership of people like GFH and everyone else like that, he would be first with the news. Like he would say, we're going to sign a player. And 2 weeks later, that player's come in. So you know what? He was great with that. Great as well when I've seen him at matches as well. We've had really good conversations. And also when I first did anything Leeds related, when it came to podcasting, anything, it was with the Athletic and Phil Hay and the Square Ball guys. That's how I actually got. That's how I actually got in the sides of the club itself when they heard me on that podcast when we was talking about the whole Kiko Casilla thing. So listen, nothing but respect to Phil and the work that he did over the years, and good luck to him in his future endeavors. Seriously, really great guy. You don't have to agree with all of his takes. I know I don't, but when you talk about the person, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, absolutely go. Yeah, man, absolutely, man. Sorry, here Isaac here saying Phil Hay began on the Watford defeat and ended with the Southampton defeat. Ironic, all the luck to him. Yeah, that's the Leeds way, isn't it? Defeats, and it defeats. Nigel evening, yeah. Shout out to everyone, man. Listen, Leeds here saying Euro great opening match. Can we buy Musiala? Boy, you see these players, man. This is why it hurts when we've got to talk about guys like Oliver Skipp. You know what I'm saying? But Germany tonight, you long-term subscribers know mine. I'm a big Germany fan and France football. I just think that the way the organizations churn out players and good players as well, not these, let me not get into it, but just quality. And you saw when they made substitutions, it was ridiculous. They had, Wirtz coming off and Sane coming on. It's all mad. Fulkrug scored today. And he was somebody a couple of years ago when we was in the Prem. I thought, man, he's perfect for the Premier League. Fulkrug for me is a Premier League striker. Just his build, his fearlessness, the way he plays as a 9. He would have been great in the Prem for me. Maybe it's too late now. I think he's like 32 now. But yeah, absolutely solid. And you've seen what he's done to Dortmund. Absolutely brilliant, man. Jack is saying, I have a Fulkrug golden boot. I mean, it depends if he starts the games because Havertz is their first choice striker. So it does depend on that. But it's not a bad shout if he was starting. Isaac, I was going to say this today. Angus Gunn was horrible today. And it just, when that first goal went in by Wirtz is a fantastic player. Don't get me wrong. But it just shows you the difference, doesn't it? You see those kind of goals going past goalkeepers in the championship all the time. They just it wasn't near the corner enough. He should have saved it, basically. And we saw what Angus Gunn did against us. He's just not a very good goalkeeper. And that's why it confused me at the start of last season when people saying we should get Angus Gunn. Like he's so average, it hurts. You know what I mean? It hurts, I should say. Oh, come on, joke bell going off. Leesley swap full crew for Bamford, please. I don't think Dortmund would have him, mate. I don't think Dortmund would have him. Nige D with a bit of satire for the night. Germany wouldn't have got 5 if Cooper was playing. Tremendous. They are, yeah, they are similar. They are very similar, Leesley. They're just average goalkeepers. But we're gonna get into that goalkeeper's position in a bit, people. We're gonna get into that. Isaac is saying exactly, mostly championship players, yeah, and you can see the difference. You saw the difference. I mean, Musiala, they couldn't get the ball off him, and Musiala is a bit of a throwback to like 25 years ago, where players actually have their own mind and can dribble with the ball, and they don't need to be told where to go. Absolutely brilliant. Musiala is one of my favorite players to watch. Bright, the future's so bright for that kid. He's already at the top, but he's going to go even further. Yeah, and you know what Porteous tried as well, little sneaky one. He did the foul and then acted like he was hurt. He thought this was the Premier League. He thought he could just get away with that. Nah, that was a disgusting tackle, but and rightly so, a sending off. Shame about my man Rudiger getting an own goal, but he couldn't do much about that. But when I say Rudiger is probably my favorite defender in the world, I'm not exaggerating. I love everything about Antonio Rudiger. Just a dog. Just a dog. In fact, he might actually be a wolf. All right. He might actually be a wolf. Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, Scotland were basically playing in their box, but look, it was a good start to the tournament. Long may that continue. People asking if I'm going to do Euro 2024 stuff. I'm not really. I will touch on any key points that happen, but in terms of doing a watch along or anything else like that, I'd only be lying to you people. I don't want to do watch alongs for these games. So if I'm not interested in it, it will see through the screen as well. I won't be interested in talking about it too much. So, you know, I'll talk about it, like do a quick summary like we are now, and then we'll get into the, you know, transfer news and everything else. So just letting you know from here that's the reason why I'm not doing any watch longs for the Euros. Maybe if it's a juicy final, if it can never be a Germany France one, maybe, but then I want to be locked in and watching it. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, right. Okay, here we go. Shall we get to the first bit of news? Shall we get into the first bit? Okay, all right. So we're going to talk about a list that I've got from my guy who's an agent in the game. But I just want to bring this up first because I had a comment yesterday which kind of, I mean, it was a bit silly, but maybe just everyone doesn't know. But they were talking about how we were spending money in the Prem, and if we were doing that there, why can't we just do that now? Which I think it was pretty obvious, but just in case everyone doesn't know, this is from a piece in fact, the new writer Nancy's article. But I'm just taking this bit of it. Up in the Premier League, PSR rules allow for a maximum of 105 million in losses over 3 years. But in the second tier championship, that 3-season figure is now 41.5 million. So you see the difference there already, people. The restraints that you're working with at championship level, it's like it might as well be a different galaxy compared to the Premier League. It's over half, you know, so you're working with much tighter parameters. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Parachute payments following relegation always help, but the club are always going to receive less money in their second championship year, which is this for us now, around 35 million, meaning Leeds' acceptable loss limit under PSR will drop from about 83 million to about 61 million over a 3-year cycle. So I hope that just gives people that don't know the full picture of what you're working with and the constraints and restraints that you're working with at championship level, especially when you don't go up the first year, which I said. And somebody, thank you. I like when people call back things when I'm actually right instead of throwing it if I'm wrong. But they actually said, you did say this was going to happen. Yeah, I did, because it's just obvious. You know what I mean? You're not, when you're here for a second year at this level, it's always harder. You're going to have to sell a jewel or two, and you're going to have to recruit players that aren't going to be as good as your first time around. It's just the way it is. That I don't agree. I mean, listen, I hope that they do have a conversation about the PSR rules, because you're seeing it with Aston Villa at the minute. They're having to sell Douglas Luiz, who's literally been one of their best midfielders all season, and they're accepting 20 million and two players in order, and one of them is Weston McKennie people. They're having to do that to balance the books. You see, with Newcastle have got the deepest pockets on the planet, and they can't do nothing with it because they have to sell some players. I do think that they're gonna have to relook at this, because all it does is favor the big boys, and maybe that's the whole point. But I do feel like these PSR rules they're restricting everybody. And I was talking to my guy who's the agent, just talking about the January spend, how low it was, because everyone's worried about breaking the rules now. So I do think that they need to look at it. The irony is, I'm saying this, people. The irony is, I'm saying this. We're probably one of the reasons why these whole things are in there, because of how we nearly went bust all those years ago. And then obviously you've had Bolton have problems, Berry going out of business. So we're probably one of the reasons why this is happening. But it's gone a little too far, I think. Leeds here saying 49ers ain't being aggressive enough. I want to see quality incoming buys, not return of the crap low knees. Damn, it's only been open one day, mate. Was we expecting somebody in today, people? I know I wasn't. I don't know. Was you guys? I don't know. Yeah, Lee in the chat. Give them a chance. It's only been one day. I'm with you, Lee. I know I'm aggressive. I say that I want someone in it within the first week, but it's not as easy as that. It's not as easy as that. So listen, people, let me give you the list of positions that we're looking for. Okay. I'm not gonna give everything that I've got, because I'll wait until some transfers happen, then I'll probably show you a bit of the message that shows what I've been talking about. But this may surprise some people, because I know that some people want new strikers, new goalkeepers, and everything else. Well, not everything is on this list, people. So listen up. And this is from an agent in South America who a whole list of clubs around Europe sends their company the requirements that they're asking for, and they try and help them out. So here we are. Yeah. Here we go. A right back, a right centre back, a left back, number 8 midfielder, number 6 midfielder, and a winger on a permanent deal. I'm not going to give the monetary value of that. I do have it here, but let me just say this: the fact that we can pay somebody the amount that we can pay in this division, and it's Leeds United, it's very attractive. Okay, let me put it that way. The fact that it's Leeds United in the first place, that should be attractive enough. If they're getting the money that we're able to pay them, there is no way you can say no. And I just want to say, in comparison, when I look at what other clubs that, a recently relegated club in Huddersfield, even their salary is of what they can pay for their winger is like 3 times less, and I mean 3 times. It's ridiculous. It's really interesting. It's really interesting that these things are got, and these things that agents ask for or teams ask for that are so specific. Like one team in particular. Let me go through a couple. Need a 4, 6, 9, 10 maximum 20 net salary, and without transfer or loan, young players. I mean, the descriptions. One club 9 with a speed, 4 with a left foot, so a left-footed defensive midfielder, age 23 to 28, 30k net month, 300k transfer. Like, things are so specific when it comes to agents. It's insane. Yeah, I did not say Huddersfield. I did say Huddersfield, didn't I? But yeah, listen, Indian Joe here saying starting with Bamford and Perot, forget promotion. Well, I'm not saying the last bit. Indian Joe is one of the usuals in the comments. But what I will say is, I hope that the fact that we're not saying a striker in this, I hope that it doesn't mean that we're keeping Bamford. I hope that means we're still moving him on, and we're going with Joel Peru and Mateo Joseph. That's what it is for me. And of course, this list is very early now. Things can change, of course. I've just mentioned there's no goalkeeper. I mean, if anything happens, say Melier gets an offer, then Leeds will obviously have to pivot and readjust their targets. That's happening. But I'm just saying, as of today, yeah, that is the requirements of what we're looking for. So yeah, just one more time: right back, right centre back, left back, number 8, number 6, and a winger. So there we go. Yeah, well, he could be off to the Olympics. Yeah, and if he is, I think it's going to be till like what, the 9th of August. Sean here saying, "Wow, KG, that is a lot more than I thought. A whole new defense is tasty and a whole new midfield. Is that what I'm hearing? So what Ampadu, Straug, I thought they'd be starters. This is another thing, Sean and everyone else. Somebody else, when I was talking about Gabriel Sara the other day, said, well, what about Archie Gray? He needs to be in midfield. Guys, you realize that there has to be competition for places, right? That's literally one of the reasons why we didn't go up, because Danny Farker didn't trust his players on the bench to use them throughout the season. So we need people that can come in, rotate. Remember, it's Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. It's a relentless schedule. So we need players that can come in and give respite. And I guess we're going to talk about that in a bit when it comes to Oliver Skipp. But yeah, you need a good competitive squad. Now, listen, some players when they sign will want to be a guaranteed starter, almost like a I'm first choice. But usually, you get a player and they know it's competition for places. So that's what you've got to aim for. You can't just have a good first 11. Then what happens when that one goes out? Where you have some, plug in on your bench. No, you've got to have people that the manager trusts, and that's where we have to look at it, people. Thank you. Uh, but yeah, so those are the positions. That obviously means as well goalkeeper. Unless anything happens with Melier in terms of being sold, I'm assuming he's going to be here, and that is that. So we're going to have to work with Melier again. Hope he has a better year than last year. Hopefully he can get himself up his own individual table, because it was poor overall. It was poor, in terms of his own personal numbers. So apart from the clean sheets, which for me is more of a team stat. Isaac here saying people that can push Archie to a new level. You know what? Let's get into the next bit, okay? Because any other comments that need explaining, put it in the comments after. MJ Slim, KG been a supporter since 2020, just mainly been a silent one. Much love for always keeping it real. I'll never forget watching your live stream and your reaction to the Somerville winner versus Liverpool. Yes, people tell me about that one as well. Thank you, MJ. Thank you. It means a lot. Thank you for that. Jed here saying, I assume that means Aaronson and Georgie are the number 10s. We're going to speak about Aaronson a bit later on, I should say. But I would assume so. I personally would put Rutter on the left, but on the right, I mean. But this is what I'm talking about. It's not about, at this point, what we would do. It's about what Farker and Leeds United want to do. And I think he sees Georgie as the number 10 and probably Aaronson as his second in command at this level. I think that may be it. I'm just guessing. We'll see as the window progresses, though, won't we, people? We will see. And yeah, this is it as well, Leeds. Need competition in positions, otherwise players get complacent. 100%. We've literally seen it at our own football club when we had a small squad and the same players were getting picked week after week because they knew there was no competition. They knew it. So, you need competition for places. That's what keeps everybody hungry. You look at our right-hand side this season, Nonto, James, look how those two were fighting it out on the right-hand side, each one knowing that if they didn't have a good game, the other one's going to come in and possibly take the shirt for the foreseeable future. That is what you need. You have to have that. We shall see if Farker's going to change his tactic. That's a big question. But listen, we're talking about a little bit of Archie Gray here. Because I've got to say, I'm going to make this clear as well. This is the only time, unless he actually signs, this is the only time I want to be speaking in detail about Oliver Skipp. Okay? Let me make that clear. I don't want to be speaking about Oliver Skipp. And the links for Oliver Skipp, they're all over the place. They're in the Athletic, they're in other websites. Guys, when I think of Oliver Skipp, I do think he's a championship player. So this level will suit him 100%. He's not a Premier League player. I remember when we was linked with him back when we was in the Premier League, and I was very underwhelmed then. I'm even more underwhelmed now. Now, listen, he's not been playing regular football for Spurs, and you see when he's on the pitch, and I'll give him this little bit of grace. When you don't have the trust of your manager, maybe you do try a bit too hard, and you look a little bit out of sorts because you know that if you make a mistake, the manager's not you're not going to see the pitch again. I'll give him that. But on the basic fundamentals of football, this guy is as basic as it comes. In terms of being a footballer, there is nothing outstanding about Oliver Skipp. Now, the only way that this makes sense for me is if Gruev does get his move away and we bring him in because they're very similar. It's very, sideway passes, retaining the ball, keep it ticking over. We'll get involved in the tackle, but there is nothing remarkable about him. If he goes past the halfway line, his nose will start to bleed. If it was me, I would skip this transfer like a YouTube ad. I would. But I also look at it from the other way. He's worked with Daniel Farke before. Farke probably trusts him. And if Gruev is to leave, I can see why Skipp would be brought in. Important thing for me is that it has to be a loan. I do not want to see Oliver Skippy on a permanent deal. He doesn't get you to no next level in the Prem. Absolutely not. When I say I think you could get someone at the academy and do what Oliver Skipp does, just with a bit more pace. He doesn't do anything outstanding, people. He is actually one of the footballers that I feel is part of the problem of today's football, where it's just basic and they need a coach to tell them where to go. I feel like he's one of the midfielders that makes football these days so robotic. You know what I mean? I'd skip it. I'd skip it. But the thing is with me, it's not about my personal preference. It's about the manager that we currently have. And he's worked with him before. And albeit he did well, but we're talking nearly 3 years ago, people. We're talking 3 years ago, and he's not played all that much football in terms of that. He's had games, but they've been like substitute. He's been a substitute in all that. You're not going to get a lot of goals and assists. And this is the other thing. In regards to Skipp, let's just say we don't get rid of Gruev. We keep Gruev, Kamara, and Padu, and we sign Skipp. Why would anyone be happy with that when we've literally been complaining all season long? Am I right or wrong? If that we haven't had no goals from midfield, and we're going to bring Oliver Skipp, please, and let me just get the last one in, because let me tell you, if this was to happen, I may protest the 49ers out. I may do it. But if he is involved in any deal whatsoever to be involved with Archie Gray, yeah, we're protesting people. We're gonna set something up. But thankfully, I don't think the 49ers are that stupid. I don't think they're that stupid. Listen, you do not swap. You do not take less money for Archie Gray and throw in a Oliver Skipp as a sweetener in order to get a deal done. I know that we haven't got the strong hand when it comes to negotiations, but absolutely not. When I talk about Somerville going out to Liverpool, getting a fee, and then possibly getting a Carvalho back on loan, that's acceptable. Yeah, that's a baller. Oliver Skipp, I could get someone. Let me not be horrible. I could get someone from the Championship, and they can do what Oliver Skipp does. People, for me, I said it. I've said it in the Prem. He is just a younger Adam Forshaw. There's nothing There's nothing good about Oliver Skipp, but for some reason, I've seen these fan base love players like this, just vanilla players, just nothing there. But I know you do need these players that break up play, so I'm not against it, but it has to be under the right circumstances. He's not my he's not my pick. Wouldn't be my pick in a million years, and that's it as well with the price. How expensive is this going to be? He's young and English. You're probably paying a tax on that. We got 5 million, Gruev for 5 million. That's nice. Gruev did all the breaking up stuff, got rid of the diagonal balls at some point for whatever reason, did the side-to-side thing. Right, you're getting that for 5. I do not want to see Skipp coming on a permanent. Absolutely not. I don't even want to see a Skipp outside, mate. Don't even want to see it. Lewis saying, why is the bar so low at this club? It's the last 20 years, I think, man. It's the last 20 years. It's just made for the people that weren't around for the big years. And I mean, like you can remember how it felt to be one of the best teams in Europe. To have this mediocre last 20 years, let's just say, it's just watered down the fan base's expectations. Now, listen, I'm not saying that we can go and get a top class defensive midfielder in the championship. Not even saying that, but I'm just saying that you've got to be sensible with this kind of deal. Yes, Farker will trust him, but to even think about selling Archie Gray for a skip, hey, there's been worse I would think that that's sabotage from the inside. I'm telling you, I think there'd be something really wrong there. Hey, listen, Matt he's saying we require height, someone who can deliver a good set piece from midfield to replace when Matt loses 1-0. This is one of my pet peeves, Matt. It's 1-0, please. When Cree leaves. Yeah, we do need that. And I think that's probably what we're going to look for when it comes to maybe the number 8, Matt. Maybe that's what we're looking for, a more rounded midfielder. That's why I said Gabriel Sara would have been absolutely perfect. Box to box, set pieces, long range shots. But I think his future's out of the championship. Lewis saying someone on the inside has a vendetta against Leeds. Look, what I'm saying is it has to just be a loan. I don't want to see this a permanent deal. Don't want to even see Archie Gray touching this deal. But what I'm also saying is that I just feel you could get Oliver Skipp at any old club. He's not exceptional at anything. And every time, every game I've seen Oliver Skipp play, and me and Tobes have been back and forth on this. Tobes, I think, has finally come around to what Skipp is. He said he's just such a basic baller, just so basic. But I know that gets the job done sometimes. But of course, if you're losing Gruev, maybe you lose Kamara. I don't think we're losing Kamara. But if you're losing one, then it makes a bit of sense. The only thing is, if we're going to be playing 2 defensive midfielders again, maybe it would be Ampadu, Skipp. But then where does that leave Kamara? I know I've said about squad depth, but why would Kamara be happy for Oliver Skipp to come in on loan and take his spot? Yeah, I don't know. I hope so. I hope not, Jack. He won't work along Ampadu in midfield, and he's clunky. And let me just finish on Oliver Skipp. He's so clunky. You know what? There was actually a highlight video going around X today, formerly known as Twitter. It was like a minute long of Oliver Skipp highlights. When he's running, man, boy, hey, he looks like, bro, he just looks clunky. And listen, I know not everyone's an elegant footballer. I get it. But yeah. Listen, if Farker trusts him and he feels he's part of the fabric that can get us up, cool. But please, not a permanent deal. Lodi here saying, I wouldn't mind if we lose Kamara and Gruev. Well, look, if we lose them too, then getting someone like a Skipping makes sense, doesn't it? Back up as Ampadu. Because for me, let me put a full stop on this Skipp stuff. He does not start ahead of Ampadu for me in no way, shape, or form. All right, simple as that. So listen, that's the Oliver Skipp segment. Unless there's any further developments, I'm going to leave the Oliver Skipp talk out of my videos, okay? Unless anyone really wants to know. Yeah, it's done. It's done. Necromancer, tremendous. Far too many of our fan base settle for mediocre FC little lead syndrome. Yeah, but it's so weird though, because in the next breath they'll say we're one of the biggest clubs in the world. We want to be great again, but the actions don't match it. The thoughts don't match the actions. I always say we're all Leeds fans from this. And then it all branches out from what you think can make Leeds successful. And everyone has different ideas. But when I'm hearing Skipp and, hey, boy, let me see. But anyway, listen, we'll move on from Skipp, man. I've killed that man already. But like I say, just don't even mention Archie Gray. Archie Gray's ceiling, people. Archie Gray's ceiling when it compares to Oliver Skipp, there's not even a comparison. By the way, did you guys see Harry Gray was in the crowd for Scotland today? I don't know if that's a little side to what Harry Gray wants to do with his international future, but he was in the Scotland end today. Jack here, yeah, we'll end it with this with Skipp. Let's forget about him and hope we don't hear anything else. I like that one. But yeah, I'm hoping that Leeds go for a few more goal scoring midfielders personally. But this was also my problem with this kind of link is that we don't need any more of these players. We need players that can do more with the ball, score goals, and create. And Oliver Skipp is literally the antithesis of all those things. Jack, any more details on the winger? I do have a couple. Not the one for 3.5, but yeah, no. Listen, I don't know if that's going to be if we got that one for 3.5, it would be one of a couple. Just looking at what the figures that we can actually spend on a winger and the wages. But what I will say is that the last note that I heard of the winger, I've forgotten his name. I've forgotten his name. Let me get his name because I asked my Druek, from Excelsior. Yeah, we've looked at him a few times, but we're not sure if there's serious interest because Leeds are weighing up other options. So that's the last I heard about it, and I'll try and get an update if there is one. Gavin here saying CR33 talk. No, I mean, listen, I've seen that, Gavin, but I don't know what's going to happen with that. I think it's too early because Burnley haven't got a manager yet. So I think it's way too early to be thinking about Connor Roberts. And I also think about it from Connor Roberts' point of view with the way he was used. Would he even come back unless he's like guaranteed that right back spot, which we're obviously looking for? And Farker says, "You are my number one," and Archie's moving into midfield or what have you. I don't think he would even come back. I know he got an injury, but he was fit for a few of the games, and he didn't see a start. So I don't know if Connor Roberts will actually come back. And maybe there's someone else out there that's probably a bit cheaper because maybe Burnley will see us as the main threat and put a little bit of extra money on the transfer fee. Yeah, Sean here saying he'd leave Roberts. To be fair, yeah. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do anything. I'm a deaf sniper. Okay. Shout out to you. Would you take money and skip and a season-long loan for Gray? No, I wouldn't. Absolutely not. But yeah. So that's that. Right. Let's move on. Let's move on to Brenden Aaronson. Okay. And we're gonna just I feel like Brenden Aaronson, I feel like this is gonna be the last one too, because he's now made a little, statement in regards to why he's returning. And I want to speak about his PR guy. Okay. Oh, Luke Truman here. I'd go for Gilchrist. I'd push for that massively. Yeah, he could be the right back option we're going for. We know that Chelsea want to loan him out. Leeds is a very good destination. They'll see what he can do. And if we somehow mess it up again next season, which we better not, they'll know that he's had all eyes on him. He'll probably have a good season here, and Chelsea can then probably sell him on for big money because you know what they like to do. So yeah, I feel like Gilchrist coming here. He's very raw. I don't know if Farker will want someone a bit more experienced to go alongside him. But yeah, he's very raw. He's had a few decent Premier League appearances, but yeah, we shall see with that one. Lewis here saying it was a pretty easy decision because no one else wanted me, so I had to run back to my ex. Jackie is saying Aaronson PR working overtime. Let's get into it, people. After this is from the Athletic article. So after conversation with his agent, family, in the club, and head coach Daniel Farker, it was a pretty easy decision. I felt like I had unfinished business at Leeds, which is that within itself is a crazy statement because no one pushed him out. Like he rushed out the door. It wasn't like we said, "Oh, Brendan, look, we've been relegated. We need to get your wages off the book. Could you just go?" No, these guys that went out the door to get those international loans done, they had their agents working overtime to get them out of it, and that's what they did. Into and he continues. Let me see. It was an awesome conversation. The role he sees me in terms of Danny Farker, the role he sees me playing, the games he's watched of me, how I fit into the team, and importantly, the things I can get better at. So obviously there, and he said that he's spoken to Josh Sargent and Joe Scally, who both played for Farker previously. Um, and he then continues, it's a grind, it's a challenge I want to be up for. All I care is about getting Leeds United promoted back to the Premier League. And he also, for the people that say he needs to put on some weight, he has said that he's hired a nutritionist and he's gained 6 pounds of muscle. I know there's going to be some jokes there about him now only weighing 6 pounds. I know they're coming, but he said that he's put on some muscle mass, which I know 6 pounds is decent. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. The proof will be in the pudding come when we see him in preseason. But that's the main thing of the article. I just think. Let me see. Yep, top of the list. Yeah. All right. All right. Enough of the fluff. Enough of the fluff. I just think that with that now. He's clarified that. We've now heard from Brenden Aaronson why he's come back. I'm just glad, and I've got to say this, I'm really glad that there's fans out there that can see through the whole "I had interest from other clubs" thing and know it's BS. I really appreciate that, because at some point, I think fans are just getting smarter now, because there's just so much information out there that they know, like, man, this guy didn't have no interest. And I've seen that reply loads of times, and I salute all the fans that actually have picked up on that. Hank is saying the way the club was run at the time, don't blame him. Well, here we go. You sound like, are you Tom Bogert? Hank, are you Tom? Let me know. Let me know. So listen, Graham Smith said here in regards to that interview, Brenden Aaronson's first interview since he decided to come back to Leeds United revealed he's packed on 6 pounds of muscle, but he ignored the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Tom Bogert, who I think did the article, but don't quote me on that, but I think he did this article with Brenden Aaronson. And it just gives me flashbacks to the whole, the whole PR machine for the US men national team players. And he replied back, last year when Union Berlin triggered his clause, Leeds did not have a sporting director, head coach, or general direction after relegation. This year, Danny Farker is in place, had a conversation with Aaronson detailing the plan. Pretty simple in the article, very condescending as well. But what I will say is, if it was that serious and Brenden really wanted to do what he said he set out to do, which is get Leeds United back up, he would have waited. He would have waited. There would have been no rush. There would have been no rush to try and get out the door as quickly as possible. You could have seen when Danny Farker was appointed and then had a conversation with him then. That's why I'm saying, people, when this first broke about Brenden Aaronson coming back, it's BS to say that he would have stayed if Danny Farker was here. All of those players that had the clauses did their best to go as quickly as possible, all of them. So to now say, just because of all of this turmoil, which a few clubs have when they get relegated, say that's the reason why he didn't stay, it's just PR. And I'm so glad people see through all of this stuff. But that's the only thing. I just don't want to see this again when it comes to Brenden Aaronson being a US player. We just see, if he has bad games, we're going to get excuses why he had a bad game instead of just saying he could do better. You know what I mean? I don't want to go back to that again, because it was exhausting, man. I don't think people realize how exhausting it was having to read through all of those, listen to all of the pieces about Leeds doing, not doing this, doing that, and just like giving him no blame at all. And I've given Brenden his props and said that he was robbed of assists early in the Premier League season, but he fell off a cliff in the second half. There's no disguising that. But yeah, Jack, I'm blocking all USMNT accounts. Matt here saying, I do think the way Brenden presses could be useful from the bench. For me, it sounds like no new number 10. It does sound like that way at the moment, Matt, just from the list that I give. Jalen saying, I feel like I don't care about the PR machine as much as everyone else. As long as he's willing to work coming back, we need promotion. Oh, I'm with you, Jalen. Oh, I'm absolutely with you. In terms of him coming back, I've already said I'm for it. I'm for him as an option at this level, because I feel like he's going to be a real headache for some of these defenders in the championship. I think he's going to cause a lot of problems with his movement. But like with Dan James previous to him, because we all have the ball a bit more, I feel like maybe he can improve on his last third actions. I feel like he'll make the better decision when it comes to his shots, his crossing, which is another big one, and passes as well. I feel like he's got the opportunity at this level to get his numbers up. I do. Maybe not to the level of Dan James. Maybe he won't get to those kind of numbers, but I do think he can get them up. I do. Um, Yeah, Lewis. Pressing alone and nothing else sounds like a small battle. Yeah, you know me, Lewis. I'm not going on the pressing hype. I do feel like he's got a few more tools in his arsenal that he can use at this level. And I hope that we see him, people. Listen, even the people that don't think he's gonna work, I feel like even you will feel hope that he does well. Much like last year when I said about Dan James doing well at this level, people that didn't believe it, they came back and said, I'm glad I was wrong. And that's all you want. You want to be proven wrong by players you don't believe in. But I do think that Brenden Aaronson at this level will be fine. Like Jalen said before, I'm not in this camp of you got something to prove to me in order to win my love. I gotta say, win my love back. Yeah, keyword at this level. You know how it is, NZ. You know how it is. It is at this level. Carl with the super sticker. Thank you, Carl, for the support. I will say, man, when I've been reading some of the replies in regards to Brenden Aaronson and even a couple of others when it comes to Max Verber potentially coming back, if we were to get him back, I gotta say, man, you people that probably a bit butch or something like that, you sounded really soft. I'm not gonna lie. You sound like a jilted lover. No, you left me last year. I can't take you back. No, you hurt me too much. Yeah, you do. I'm telling you, you guys are doing a little too much. You're a bit too emotional about it. I'm saying use them the way that they've used Leeds United, get us up, and then bin them off when we get up. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. But yeah, it's just funny reading some of the responses, man. Some people sound really, really hurt, and it's a bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. Scott saying Aaronson will be starting, so people need to get used to it. Scott, where's he starting? I don't get that because I would say even if we sell Nonto and Somerville, is he starting? Dan James, whoever the replacement winger is, Jorginho, Peru, Joseph. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he'll be. I think he will get starts though, Scott. That's what he needs to do. He needs to rotate the team. That's the problem. When Rutter's not up to it or needs a game off, start him. You know what I mean? Johnny C would have liked a new goalkeeper. I hear it, Johnny. But in all those positions that need filling, goalkeeper's not one of them. So maybe they see Melier staying here for another season. Imagine that, Lewis. Farker plays Aronson at right back. Luke is saying 3 number 10s maybe. I think Farker's gone with 2 before Luke. 3, I don't see that happening. Don't see that happening. Maybe, who knows? Who knows? Um, Lodi saying, I honestly think Arison will rip it up next season. I think he will be too good in the championship. If we sell Cree or Nanto, Rutter move to the wing and Brenden as a 10. Yeah, I mean, again, we've spoke about this already. I would personally move Jorginho to the wing, but I think Farker sees him as a 10. So, but yeah, I'm with you, Lodi. But I don't know about I think he'll be too good in champion. Listen, Lodi, if you're right, awesome. Absolutely awesome. Let's have a look. This one again with always trying to get people out here. Never, never. Hugh here. Hugh. I think Arison will bulk. Who with a bulk up is a different player. We shall see. Isaac here saying, imagine if Rasmus tries the same tactic as Aronson to come back. That would be a disaster. Yeah. No, that is one definitely that I just don't want to see happening. Hopefully, Rasmus has a new home to go to in the summer. I don't think we need to see Rasmus at right back. And you think of it in total, with all due respect to Junior, who going forward is okay in the championship. Imagine starting with Fopo and Rasmus as your fullbacks, man. It would be a headache in terms of being defensive. Oh my lord. The thing is, and the difference between Junior and Rasmus is Junior Fopo is technically a good player. You know what I mean? He's got technical ability. Rasmus don't have it, and he doesn't have balance either. For a guy that looks like a brute, he gets brushed off easily, and we saw that in the first game against Neto against Wolves. I thought, whoa, he got brushed off a little easy there, and it kept happening. No, no. Oh man, no, please no. Yeah, no Rasmus, please, no, no. And listen, again, if Rasmus is coming back, we'll have an in-depth discussion then. Until then, we'll just assume he's going. I think that's probably the best. Yeah, just trying to be nice. Jack here, you got a Euro fantasy team. Okay, I do have one. I didn't set a league though. I'm involved in another league. Do you want me to give you my team? I've actually posted it on my IG as well. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, here we go. I'll just give you the starters. How about that? I got Mannion in goal, Theo Hernandez, Rudiger, Grimaldo, Pedri, Musiala, Shabazlai, Fernandez, Mbappe, Havertz, and Ronaldo. There we go. There's my first 11. Love that, innit? Love that. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, Luke. Oh, yeah. Rasmus thought he was going to get the Passion Merchant done, innit? Oh God, Rasmus equal chest bumps and buzz cut. Yeah, he looks like he should be better than he is. That's the thing. His look fools. He fooled me. He absolutely fooled me. I thought that we was going to get at least a sturdy one-on-one defender there. Boy, oh boy. When, like I say, whenever I think of Rasmus, I think of Bambi gaining her legs. That's what I think of when I think of Rasmus, because that's what he reminded me of. Ouch on a really good pick. Listen, it will pay off over time, and it will pay off over time. It's all good. It's all good. But listen, people, that is it. Oh no, no, absolutely not. McKenna on the free. No, 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 no. No, and I think thankfully, Matt, he's a left centre back, which is not on the list. So thank you. Matt here saying thoughts and thoughts on timing of our first big signing. Hope we strike early. Matt. It's a difficult one because I mean, first of all, Leeds rarely do business early, and when we've done it, I think Brenden Aaronson was one, but it's because it was kind of wrapped up in January, wasn't it? You know, and the thing is as well, Brenden Aaronson, what a lot of people forget, just quickly before we exit on Aaronson, that was a Bielsa approved pick, people. You know, and you can tell because he's a Bielsa player. You think of Bielsa, you just think of energy bunnies. You think of Duracell bunnies, don't you? Just people that run around, can quickly do 1-2 movements and move. That's Bielsa's game. That's how we were so successful with the first set, with the first time around. So you can see why Brenden Aaronson would have suited Bielsa. Then you see him go for Conor Gallagher. Bielsa has a type, doesn't he? He has a type. But look, Matt, the thing is with signings, you've just seen the Euros have started. Clubs are going to be tentative with what they think. They'll probably think if a player has a good tournament, I can get more for the player. So it's going to be a real interesting time. Maybe, I mean, if we're looking at players like Oliver Skipp, then there's no worries about Euros because obviously he's nowhere near it. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting time when it comes to doing business. And it also depends as well when we sell some of our players in order to raise a few funds for the team. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not like last season where I was like, what are we doing? You know, just been relegated. Who's coming in? I'm going to try and adopt a little bit of a more patient approach. I've said this now. In a week's time, I'll be like, where's the signings? Where's the signings, people? uh no, no, but Dr. Listen to these you guys love meaty stuff, man. Matt Davis is this is to Matt Davis. Joe Worrell's a better player. Joe Worrell, let me tell you, Joe Worrell is a younger Liam Cooper. And the reason why Joe Worrell didn't last at Forest in that last season is because from preseason onwards, he was a nightmare. He looked like he was finished, and he shouldn't be because I swear he's only 28 years old or something like that. Poor defender, absolutely poor. So no, Worrell, McKenna, leave all these guys now, please. Don't be careful what you speak into existence, people. We don't want to be lumbered with players like that. You know what I mean? Joseph must get game time. Leezy, I would predict that Joseph would have got assurances and he will get some more game time next season. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to stay. He will have suitors in definitely have other suitors in other countries. He doesn't have to stay. I think that he will have been given assurances, and I'm hoping Leeds. Like I say from the top of the show, we're not going in for a striker at this point in time. That we're looking at Peru and Joseph as our forwards, and we still get rid of Bamford to free up some more wages. And yeah, that's the reason why, people. Dr. Cox saying, KG, who do you want if we can't get Roden then? Yeah, listen, people, I need to say that as well. I did a Roden video the other day, and somebody left a comment saying I didn't even get the notification. I have put it in the community post at the minute, which I'll probably delete in a bit anyway. But if you click on the notification bell and put all, you'll get notifications when I go live and when I upload as well, because I know everyone doesn't get them, and it's quite telling as well. So if you haven't done that, just click on notifications all, and you'll always know when I'm uploaded a video or when I'm going live. But in regards to Roden, I mean, I even said on the video, if we can't get him because Ipswich are going in for him and other clubs, Fenerbahce, there are other options out there, and it's no slight to Joe. He's been fantastic for us. This is why he's earned that right to go to the Premier League or to another top league in Europe. He's earned it because he's done overly well here, and that's why Tottenham made sure that they're going to get a good fee for him. But if we can't get him, Omar Barmadeli would probably be my first choice, only because I think he's gonna be available from Forest. He's worked with Daniel Farker before. Probably be a loan, maybe loan with an option to buy or obligation to buy on promotion. Maybe it will be like that. I would go for someone like that personally. But there's other centre backs out there, people, and like I say, when it's been sent to an agent now, It could be someone we've never even heard of. And I hope it is, because maybe that means they'll be cheaper and hopefully the upside will be there. The only thing I will say is that we need to get somebody like Joe Rodon who had the mentality to play here. We saw Joe, no matter how intense it was going, he was still shouting, leading from the back, making sure things were organized. He didn't shrink. You know what I mean? And if you think about Joe Rodon's bad games, there's probably a handful of them, if that. He was so good for us. He handled the pressure of playing for this club very well. We need to get in somebody else with that kind of mentality. Yep, Lodi. Yep, Obama Deli's a ball playing defender, quick, and he's good at defending and attacking set pieces, which obviously we know about. Um, Luke. Daniel Levy needs to go up and give us in for a few quid. He's smart though, isn't he, Luke? Because you saw that. I mean, I've mentioned this comparison before, but say Ryan Sessegnon, who was released on a free, if he had gone out on loan and say had a superb year on loan, I'm sure if he had a contract clause to say we'll extend it another year, he would have done so and try and sold Ryan Sessegnon. But because Sessegnon's, you know, is what is it? His stock is so low, he just released him on a free. But Joe Rodon, there's just too much interest in him, and he'll probably get. I would guess say maybe a 12 million fee from say Ipswich, and then maybe get 3 million in add-ons if they were to stay up. But either way, he's getting 12 million or something like that. I feel it's going to be in that ballpark, which I feel may price us out. Skip saying need a centre back who can get a few goals. Skip, I think we've got one in Strauch. I do. I've said it for years on years. I feel like he's good for at least 4, maybe 5 goals when it comes from set pieces. He should be that dominant in the air, and I think he was probably on his way to doing that this season. I think we've got one, but this is another thing we have to improve. We heard it from Daniel Farker's mouth himself. We've lost Strauch and Sam Byram, who are set piece threats. Listen, if those two are your only set piece threats from corners, you're in trouble. You shouldn't just have 2 people. It shouldn't be that way. So again, hopefully they're recruiting the right profiles for that and looking at that as well. Random guy, who in the champ is going to pay Bamford's wages? Random guy, there's other leagues out there. There's other leagues. I mean, wow. But it could be a case of Leeds may have to pay a little goodbye sweetener to him in order to top up those wages. There are ways around it, people. I've said this many times before. I'm not going to go into it again. But yeah. But yes. Oh, Lewis. The delivery of the set pieces were mid anyways. I agree with that, Lewis. We need people that can take. And again, that's why Gabriel Sara would have been perfect. You're going to get good deliveries and also a variation. We saw with Sara against us alone, never mind in other games I saw him in, where he switches up the set pieces. Isn't just a floater, isn't just one that's whipped in. Sometimes he'll play it short and then get it back and whip it round. You need people with a variation instead of just sticking it up and the goalkeeper catches it. We have been poor. I would say Gruev towards the end of the season was obviously working at it and improved, but it still wasn't great. It's almost the bar is so low. It's like, ooh, there was some curl on that from Gruev. That was nice. It's because you're starving. You're starving for a good set piece, and that just fed your hunger for a bit. But overall, yeah, the deliveries have to improve 100%. But yeah, I think that is it, people. Man, we've gone long. This has been I hope you've enjoyed this late night edition, people. Well, late night for us here in England. And listen, shout out to everywhere, wherever you are around the world watching it. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Listen, drop me your thoughts in the comments about anything discussed, whether it's the list I gave you, Oliver Skipp, Brenden Aaronson's PR, or anything else in between. Listen, the window's open. We're going to keep on top of this thing. And shout out to everyone that joined me in the chat tonight. If you're watching the replay, please hit a like on the video. It really does help out the channel. And guys, I'll see you in the next video, people. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Peace out.